Hello everybody, welcome back to TQM Travels. Today I have traveled up north to Black Rock Mountain State Park with Farah here in order to peep them leaves. So it's the middle of November right now, which means the North Georgia mountains are painted in beautiful red, orange, and yellow leaves. So I decided to come up here in order to try to get some beautiful photos and videos. Now if you're familiar with the channel, you may remember that Lisa and I have actually visited Black Rock Mountain State Park before. We camped here for a couple of nights and tried doing some hiking trails, and overall that visit was quite interesting. The first day we were here in the park, we did a very challenging hiking trail, and we weren't actually able to finish the trail because we were just exhausted and we didn't have enough food or water, so that was a bit of a struggle. And also, I managed to lose my GoPro on that trail as well, so quite a few unfortunate events happened, but I think today's visit will be a little bit different. So to kick off the day, I'm just going to be checking out a couple of these overlooks and try to take some photos and videos of the beautiful fall colors. After we check out some of these overlooks for photos and videos, I'm also going to try to do a couple of hiking trails as well. So why don't we go ahead and soak in the views. Alright, well I think I've gotten plenty of photos and videos. I'm super happy to see all of these beautiful colors. Ever since I picked up vlogging and photography, I've always wanted to try to get photos and videos of the leaves, and I would always be a couple of weeks too late and all of the leaves would be gone. So even though it's not prime season right now, I'm happy to be able to experience these wonderful views. So now it's time to go ahead and start hiking. I'm going to be hiking that James Edmonds Trail to try to hit Lookoff Point, which again, Lisa and I were not able to make it to last time, but this time we have a couple of different tips for success. First, I think we have better hiking conditions. It's a good deal cooler than it was when we first hiked. Right now it's in the mid 50s, and when Lisa and I first tried the hike, it was in the upper 70s or lower 80s. It was quite toasty. Also, when we first tried the hike, it was transitioning from winter to spring, so it was warm, but a lot of the trees didn't have any leaves or anything, so we were just getting beaten down by the sun. And as you can see, we have plenty of leaves to give us shade today as well. I also have more water and food, but I have one more important thing that I think will ensure our success. That's right, this time we're not even doing the whole trail. So there's a small gravel road you can take to a parking area here at Black Rock Lake, and that's going to turn the James Edmonds Trail from a 7.5 to 8 mile loop to about a 3.5 mile trail. So we're shaving off quite a good bit of distance. Now I do believe we're still looking at about 1,000 feet of elevation change, so it's still going to be a bit strenuous to get up to Lookoff Point, but I think it'll be much more manageable than last time. Before we get started, look how pretty the lake is today. When Lisa and I were here the first time, the lake was actually flooding over and you couldn't get along this lake trail at all. But now the waters have receded back to their normal level and you can resume walking along the trail. So it's really quite a pretty lake. I didn't get to really see too much of it last time because the water levels were just too far to even see past the trees or anything. So really it's very pretty, but now why don't we go ahead and get started on our hike. All right, James Edmonds Trail. This time, you're getting conquered. Oh my God, I forgot how hard this trail was. I've only been hiking for like 10 minutes and I am so tired, and it's kind of hard to see this trail too because there's so many fallen leaves on the ground. I've taken a couple of wrong turns already. Luckily they put up a good number of these little orange markers. Those have been helping a lot because there have been a couple areas where I thought the trail kept going in one direction and then I'm like, the trail just sort of, that I thought I saw just sort of disappears, and I'm like, where do I go? Backtrack a little bit and then you're like, Oh, it's over there. Oh man, this is tiring, but I'm definitely gonna be able to finish this. This is no problem. You got this, self. You got this. Oh, even Farah's tired already. Come on, Farah. Can you make it? Farah? You need help? Oh, that's a good idea, Farah. Let's go ahead and take a little break. This is a tough one, huh, Farah? Oh, this is a tough one. You're doing it though. You're doing an excellent job. Oh, good girl. Yeah, so good, Farah. We made it to where the West Fork and the East Fork connect. So, quarter mile to Lookoff Point. Farah, we're almost there. We almost did it, Farah. Good, Farah. Oh, good girl. Oh, she's good. Oh my God, guys, I have finally made it up here to Lookoff Point. The views here are spectacular. You can really see down into the valley below, and also all of the mountains in the background are painted in polka dots of red and orange. It's breathtaking. Oh my God, I'm so happy to be up here. This James Edmonds Trail is no joke. Even with that shorter segment just from the lake up here, it was so challenging. I am so tired from that hike. My legs are shaking. I'm out of breath. It was really challenging. Luckily, I did bring enough food and water this time, so I'm gonna be able to rest up here, have a little snack and drink a little water. And then I'm just gonna take in these views, take a lot of photos and videos. Unfortunately, the trail up didn't have a lot of picturesque colors or anything, but this view here at the end certainly made up for it. It's just so happy to make it up here finally. So I've gotten plenty of photos and videos. I've rested up, my legs are good to go now. I've had some water and some food. So it's about 3 o'clock right now. So it should only take me about an hour or so to get back to the car. So I should have plenty of daylight. We'll see what time it is. If I get back earlier and I have a little bit of time, I might try to do a couple of overlooks along the Tennessee Rock Trail, which is the most popular trail here at the park. But it does get dark pretty early here now after daylight savings time has kicked in. So if it's too late, I probably won't get to do that trail, but that'll be okay because we'll save that for another time then. So why don't we go ahead and I'll see you guys at the bottom. Oh my God, we made it down to the bottom. The descent was honestly just as hard as the incline. We definitely made it down a lot faster, but those sections were so steep and there were so many fallen leaves on the trail. I slipped and fell maybe 4 or 5 times. My legs are just jelly right now, especially my quads that are so tired. And I started straining my calves a little bit as well at some of those steep sections, but oh, I'm so happy we finished the trail. I never want to do this trail again. It was so hard, but I'm glad I was able to finish it. So it's about 4:15 and sunset's usually around 5:30, so I actually have a good bit of time. I think I'm gonna go drive up to the trailhead area and maybe try a little bit of this Tennessee Rock Trail and try to get to one of those overlooks, because I've heard the views there are spectacular as well. So let's hop in the car, get some more water and food for Farah, who did an excellent job hiking today. She did not have that much fun. She was so tired on that descent. But all right, we'll see you guys at the trailhead for the Tennessee Rock Trail. Okay, I'm here at the main trailhead now for the state park here. And this time, instead of going off to the right for the James Edmonds Trail, we're gonna be going off here to the left to do part of the Tennessee Rock Trail. So the Tennessee Rock Trail is a 2.2 mile loop. I think it has a elevation gain of 550 feet or so, somewhere around there. But I don't actually think I'm gonna be able to do the entire loop today because I have only about an hour before sunset. I know if we go clockwise around the trail, we'll get to some of those overlooks a little bit quicker. So I'm gonna try that, and we'll see what time it is when I get to the first overlook and decide if we're able to try to reach the second one or if we're going to just head back to the car after that. So here we go. This trail is definitely more well-defined, but even with it being shorter and less steep, 500 feet is no laughing matter here. It's still pretty tough, especially after hiking that other trail. My legs are so sore. They're like screaming every time I take a step uphill. Oh man, this is going to be tough to make it over. Wow. Oh wow. This is a great little spot here. Look at that. 360-degree views. A little obscured behind me, but oh, that's gorgeous. Wow. Oh, this is the first overlook. The Tennessee Rock overlook. Awesome. Oh wow. That is spectacular. Wow, look at that. So I just passed a couple of people going the other way. They said this, there's not really an overlook over here. It's just a marker for the top of Black Rock Mountain. So they said it's only about 3 minutes or so this way. So we should be able to make it with plenty of time. So let's keep going and I'll see you at the top. Oh, we did it. Oh man. Woo. Wow. Oh man, I totally made it up here to the summit of Black Rock Mountain. We're at an elevation of 3,640 feet. So it's a pretty impressive height. Like I said, this is the highest park in the state of Georgia. So that was a pretty steep climb, even though the elevation wasn't nearly as much as what we had at the James Edmonds Trail. Now, unfortunately, this isn't the halfway point of the Tennessee Rock Trail, so I'm probably gonna just be walking back the way I came because I do know that will be all downhill, so it should be super easy. So I'm going to head back down to the bottom and I'll check in with you guys one last time before I leave the park. Oh man, so I have made it back here to Black Rock Mountain Overlook near the visitor center. I was able to make it to the bottom before it got dark, and now I'm treated to a spectacular sunset before I leave the park. I feel like this is a excellent little reward for all of the hard hiking I've done today. Honestly, I am pretty proud of myself. This was a lot of work. This is probably the most sore my legs have ever been, at least while hiking, so I'm really happy to be done. Ready to go home, take a nice hot shower, eat a nice hot meal. But unfortunately, like I said at the beginning, it does seem like the park is just past prime time for fall colors. I think last week was supposed to be the best to see all of the beautiful leaves, but luckily, like I said, we were still able to see some spectacular vistas on all of the hikes that we did today. Even these roadside overlooks are beautiful as well, so there are still some beautiful colors out there. Now, it's definitely going to be a little late by the time I post this video, but if you're interested in checking out where to go for looking at fall colors here in North Georgia, or throughout the state of Georgia really, you could check out the Georgia State Parks website. They actually have a little blog where they tell you which state parks are in like peak season for fall colors. So they did mention that this park was going to be past prime when I visited today, but I'm still happy that I came. I'm happy that I got done with all of the hikes. Don't be surprised though if you do see Lisa and I return to the park for some more camping. It's now that the weather's cooling off, you know, Lisa and I are going to probably do some cold weather camping again. But before that, we actually have a trip coming up to California to visit San Francisco and also drive out to Yosemite National Park. So definitely be sure to stay tuned for that. So if you haven't yet, I would greatly appreciate it if you would consider subscribing to the channel, and that way you will be notified when those episodes come out. And also, if you enjoy this content, please give this video a thumbs up as well. But that's going to be it for this episode. Thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, cheers.